Are we on? Yes, we're on. Hello, everybody. Can you hear me okay? A few people already in the chat. Okay, good. Hi, Bev. How are you guys? Cuba, the black cat, and I are ready. Yeah, Cuba. Yes, I can hear you. That's with these big, huge, fancy microphones. I could probably put it across the room and you'll hear it. Nick B19. Hi, Nick. How's it going? Anna, Holly, Zipped Up Kits. So many of you, I don't even really know your names because it's just the handle is, something like Zipped Up Kits. Benny Blaze, BBX, greetings from New Brunswick. We love your channel and the whole farm. Wait, somebody's in Fargo. Hi, Chad. I've been waiting in Fargo, North Dakota. Kay. Oh, you're from Fargo? The only thing I know Fargo is the movie and the TV show. Fargo, North Dakota. Why am I thinking Fargo was in Minnesota? Is that because of the movies? Rich, I love how Bubbles is warmed up. It's like Bubbles is a completely new kitty. Unbelievable. Makes me wonder how long has she been in discomfort, Who's that? Matt Carrot Official Chat. Do you know about the Super Bram process for maintaining a farm? Super Bram process? Nope. Don't know what you're talking about there, Matt Carrot. Well, what a nice glimpse into the farm studio. Hello from Phoenix, Julian. Yes, this is where all the magic happens. This is my desk, computer, screen. This is where I spend countless hours editing. It's in my basement. There's a window right up there. Sometimes I got to put my hood on when I'm editing here because it's kind of cold in the basement here in Canada. Olive, what are you doing? Olive was just groomed. I don't know if you can tell, but her hair is so flowing. I was filming a video, and the beginning of the video is going to be her getting groomed. What? You say hi to the camera. Hey, you got to say hi to the camera right there. Every time I start these live streams, Olive is wondering who I'm talking to because there's nobody else in the room. I closed the door because my wife's busy doing some stuff upstairs, so it's going to be noisy. So I gotta close the door. So she's wondering, who's this guy talking to? Is he talking to me? She looks like $1 million, and she smells like $1 million. Okay, that's enough. That's enough. Down. Don't kiss me. Down. I don't know where that mouth has been. Okay, move. Move. You're gonna pinch your head. I'm getting closer. There's the Olive show for now. Sorry. Oh man, I missed a bunch of chats because of Olive. Sugar Bell, Olive looks twice as big with her fluffy fur. Yeah, because it's like an extra 6 inches. Hi, Chad. Hi from Amy in Pennsylvania. I was in Pennsylvania one time for the North American Orienteering Championships, where I won first place as a 12-year-old competing in the 16-year-old race. I don't know how many of you know what orienteering is. but it's like a European sport from Finland where you have a topographical map and a compass, and you have to run in the forest finding these checkpoints, and whoever gets finds them all and gets back the fastest wins. And that's me. I got myself in the Toronto Sun newspaper front page of the sports section. I still have the clipping. Linda Phillips, a storm's coming down at Lake Erie. Yeah, it's raining here right now. Maybe that's the same kind of storm, because Lake Erie really is not that far. Like, you could have clouds covering half of Ontario. I'm glad that Bubbles is coming out of her shell. I don't know what's going on with Bubbles. I mean, we can only guess, right? We can only kind of deduce that this cat all of a sudden has a swollen stomach. And I'm like, what's going on with Bubbles? Why is her stomach swollen? Then you go through the whole thing of getting her to the vet. And then it turns out this is, like a emergency situation. But I'm thinking to myself, okay, today I see her belly is swollen. Yesterday her belly wasn't swollen. She showed no symptoms like prior to that for any of it, right? But you have to assume, and the vet couldn't pinpoint it either. The vet doesn't know exactly how long, but you have to assume that this infection in her uterus has been festering and boiling, and maybe her body is fighting it, and maybe she's in discomfort, and maybe she's in pain. I don't know. But how long has that been going on? It's in my head, and I'm like, I'm a little bit sad about it, to be honest, because this cat could have been suffering for like a year and we don't even know. But she's doing amazing right now. She's like a new cat, and I'm pleased with her progress. I haven't yet attempted to kind of pick her up. I'm still in the pet stage, and kind of trying to scratch her head and stroking her body. And sometimes I'll even go up the tail, because some cats don't like that tail thing. Like Sushi doesn't like the tail thing. If I'm petting Sushi and I go like that with the tail, she goes like that and she goes, "Rrr." She kind of gives me attitude. Yeah, Anna Piazza. She knows you saved her and the bad pain is gone. That very well may be. That very well may be. She might be aware that, hey, I went through that stress, but this guy took me over there and they fixed me up. Maybe she knows that. I'd like to think that she knows that. But she's a new cat, like night and day. Like, you guys don't even understand. Like, I think it was one day before I was filming the video of bringing her back to the cat house, okay? She had her red colored t-shirt on, and it was half off her body. I don't know how she wrangled it. It was half off her body, and it was all hanging off her butt. So you know what I mean? If she urinated, I'm sure it would get all wet. So I called the vet and I said, we got to come in. You guys got to give her updated vaccines anyway. So let's just do that. And you guys can deal with taking the sweater off and all that, because she's the kind of cat that needs to be sedated. So I tried getting this t-shirt off. Forget about it. She was wild and nasty and feisty. And she was like scratching me, and we had gloves on, and my wife was like trying to help. And it's like, she's in this cage. I'm trying to squish my fat Hulk-sized body into this cage, and it's just, the whole ordeal was horrible. And she was freaked right out. But then, so I got her to the vet, and the vet said they didn't even have to sedate her. They just kind of held her and she was fine. They took the sweater off. They gave her vaccines, and I brought her back to the farm right away that day. And that's when I started filming that video. And one day, I don't think she ate anything. She was just probably not feeling good from the vaccines. She stayed, I showed you guys in the footage, she stayed up high. There's a bed up high, and she just stayed in there. Then it was the day after that, she was down walking around eating food. And then I didn't even try to pet her that day. But then the following day, I just tried to pet her, and she was accepting my pet. So I'm like, oh, This is nice. And then so I pull out the phone, like just try to holding the phone while I'm petting her and trying to get footage to show you guys how well she's doing. It's crazy. Anyways, she's doing amazing, actually. Maybe I mean, we can all assume too that that's why she was basically hiding in the tent. Like it's been like many months where I go in there. Sometimes I see her out and then I'll be like, "Hi, Bubs, how you doing?" I'll get a little bit of footage of her, filming her. And then she just goes in the tent. And then I always try to stick my phone in the tent just so that you guys can see her, right? Whew, what a turnaround. And it's exciting too, because like I'm happy that she's better, I guess, right? Stardust Bella says, I'm a dog groomer and I just groomed Alice, the old English sheepdog, yesterday. How do you like grooming old English sheepdogs? Because old English sheepdogs, they're probably some of the most difficult dogs to groom, right? I mean, there's a lot of like hairy, shaggy type dogs, but the old English sheepdog, when they're groomed, they look top notch. I don't know if you guys saw the Westminster Dog Show. There was a massive male old English sheepdog named Graham, and he won. And he was just gorgeous dog. Like, what a stud. Oh, missed something. Nick B19. Little tip. Love that Bubbles is doing better. Do you get ticks where you live? You know what, Nick? I mean, I think there's ticks, but I don't think we get ticks, if that makes sense. I don't really pay any mind to it. So it's so little of a problem that I don't pay any mind to it. Okay. Now, Olive, the old English sheepdog, because she's always walking around in the tall grasses and stuff like that and lying on the ground and things. So I give her Next Guard. I think I'm giving her Next Guard Supreme. And it's like a heartworm, dewormer, flea and tick thing. And she gets that during the summer months, like once a month. And it's expensive stuff. Those things are like $30 each, I think, something like that. So I get 6 months worth and it cost me like $200, but then I don't have to keep going back to the vet. Talking too much already. Not Happy Jan. Good morning from Australia. Good morning, Not Happy Jan. How are you? Oh, how do they say it in Australia? They don't say how are you or how's it going. How you going? How you going? I think that's what they say, right? Not Happy Jan? I assume your name is Jan. Bev says, my favorite shirt. I mean, it's my favorite hockey team. They were a dud this year in any case, but Mom Robert, Big Pig, my cat heard your voice and came running, but when he didn't see the geese and the ducks, he gave me a strange look. Wait a second. Mom Robert, your cat's name is Big Pig? That is funny. I assume he's big like Fozzie Bear. Nancy John. Hi, Chad. I'm in the Tawas, Michigan area. So happy that the kitties are doing so good, and I love the garden. Nice. Greetings from Germany. Ivan M. Thank you for your great videos. Was a big help studying for university. Oh, that's terrific. Aloha from Maui, Hawaii. Pua tree. Hello, aloha. Now Mango is the scaredy cat, delicately destroyed. So speaking about Mr. Mango, he's doing a little bit better yesterday and today. He's coming down, and I gave him treats today, and he backed right off. But as soon as I gave the treats, he came over. But he's always been kind of a skittish cat too, and I always just thought him and Bubbles were, similar. And so basically, that day when I was getting Bubbles to the vet, and I filmed some of it, you guys saw it. I was kind of chasing Bubbles around, and Mango was freaked right out. He was jumping all trying to get away from me, and I wasn't even going after him. But since then, he's been acting so weird, and he takes a long time to kind of get settled. Whereas his sister Tango, she was freaked out too that day, but the next day she's fine. Weird. That's just, some people say he's an orange cat, so that's how the orange cats are. There's a bunch of people in here. I didn't get a chance to say hi. Kay says Fargo was filmed in Minnesota, so that's why I have Minnesota in my head, right? Sarah Buckley, hello from Wisconsin, Chad and everyone. Hello, Sarah Buckley. Lori, hi, Chad. Hi, Chad from Southeast Arizona, Dallas, Texas, Sugar Bell. I guess it's getting hot down there for you guys, eh? In Arizona, Texas, and I don't know where else in the South there. Alabama, Louisiana, Florida. Because up here, it's hot already. I'm already complaining. I was roasting today. I was working on my new chicken coop today. But I'm already at the stage where I'm filming for part 2 of the chicken coop build. I've already, or at least what I believe, have enough footage to put together a video for Monday. That's going to be Monday. So whoever's in here is aware of that. Monday is the first episode of the chicken coop build. So you're going to obviously see me building to the point where I'm at. And then at the end of the video, I kind of give you a once-over explanation of the layout and some of the logistics of the coop. But it's probably going to be some time again before I'll have part 2. Because it's not easy putting together a build video. But it's okay. Aiden Outdoors, hello from Western North Carolina. Hello, Aiden. Cindy M. Olive is my favorite. Yeah. Waleska Quintana. Hi, Olive. She's an amazing dog. It's so hard to know if it's just Olive or is it all Old English sheepdogs? Like, are there any nasty Old English sheepdogs? Because our first dog that passed away, Molly, she was absolutely incredible. She was just an amazing dog, and Olive is an amazing dog too. So maybe she learned a lot from Molly on how to behave. Maybe it's the fact that my wife and I are so good taking care of them and, taking care of the animals in general. Or is it just the breed is just an amazing breed? Old English sheepdogs are cool. Thomas Winters. Thank you so much. Celebrating Bubbles' awesome recovery. Yes, sirree. She is doing outstanding. Like, honest to God, I thought I was getting her into the surgery, and then I just, at that point in time, I assumed she would just be the same skittish kind of cat. Complete turnaround. The entire time that she was in our house, in our laundry room, in the cat infirmary recovery area, I sat there for like a long hours all the time with the door open, trying to give her treats outside, trying to get her out. She wouldn't even come out of the cage. I think she's definitely happiest being with the family. That's what I think. Diana Sunholder says Olive is the star of the show. She is a star of the show. Hello from Trinidad and Tobago. Paula, how are you, Paula? I put the slow chat on, and I did it for every 25 seconds. You can basically set the slow chat for whatever time you want. And since I started doing these live streams, I've been playing with the amount of seconds. I've done 20 seconds, and I've done 40 seconds. This time I think I did 25. Just trying to get a feel for it, because what happens is I start talking about stuff because I just talk too much, and then I'm looking at the chat and I'm missing, and then I have to go back. And I mean, I guess that's okay. I figure everybody who's doing a live chat does that, but I try my best because I'm so new at the live chats that I really look at the screen trying to answer as much as I can, trying to give you information and say hi to people. I know that not everybody who does live streams do that anymore, because I've watched a bunch of the big farm channels doing live streams and they just sit there and talk about stuff. They're not answering people's questions, or at least not all the time, anyways. Nancy John, I used to have Cocker Spaniels, lots of grooming. Cocker Spaniels are the ones with the big floppy ears, right? Bev is asking me, were you in sports? Yeah, Bev, I was a big sport guy. I played junior B hockey right up until I was 17 years old. And my dad had me on skates. I think I was 4 or 5 years old. And I was an only child back then. My second brother, he wasn't born until I was 7 years old. But yeah, I was a hockey kid. And then in the summer, I usually tried to do soccer and some kind of baseball. Up here in Canada, they don't really let the kids play baseball. There's no like proper little league when you're just playing in a small league. I guess if your parents put you in a little league, but I think I was just in like a house league type thing, and it was softball. So, but I was always a bigger, stronger kid for my age, always, ever since I was young. So that always gave me an advantage when I'm doing any kind of sport within my same age group. So, speaking about hockey, because I was so big and strong, when I was 17 years old, I moved. I think if I remember right, the league I was in went bankrupt. They went belly up. And then so I moved to the men's league, which was a full contact men's league. And I think it was the first or the second game that we played. A defenseman named Bruiser kind of backed into my left leg, and it kind of hurt my knee. So I partially tore my medial collateral ligament. So I had that MCL problem for several years after that. Actually, even that weekend, I was on crutches. I still went into work on my part time job. Way back then when I was 17, I've always had a good work ethic. You can't ever take that away from me. Just getting caught up in some of the things here. Sheer. Hello, Chad from Massachusetts. We've been to Massachusetts. We've been to Maine. We've been all around. We've been all around the U.S., really. My wife loves seafood. So we used to go for a long driving trip. We used to go across Ontario and then maybe somewhere around Belleville or Bowmanville. No, is it Belleville? Brockville. Brockville, there's a border crossing. And then that takes you down to Lake Placid. And then we'd stay there for a night. And then we'd continue on to Portland, Maine, and have some lobster rolls. Well, my wife doesn't like the lobster rolls. I like the lobster rolls because sandwiches in general is in my top 5 most favorite foods. I love sandwiches. So I try sandwiches and burgers and stuff like that from all over the world whenever I go traveling. But yeah, so she just gets a whole platter of seafood. It's crazy how much seafood she can scarf down. That's her number one most favorite food, seafood. And I always joke that I'm on a seafood diet because when I see food, I eat it. Hardy har. I'm not quite dead says, so you're a good guy to have around. So you're a good guy to have around in the woods. Yes, I won't get lost. I'm very good with a map. I remember years ago, before GPS in our cars, my wife and I went driving to California, and I had it was a big, huge, like a map book. It was a map book of all North America and all the roads and all the back roads. I remember driving down the road with the steering wheel between my legs, and I'm like, look, I'm opening up this thing because we were going across to the Rocky Mountains, where through Colorado, and we went through Vail, and I think it was Vail, and anyways, trying to get through the mountains. It was heck trying to get through the mountains. Gail Matchett. Orienteering is something I always wanted to do. Orienteering was great. I got involved in orienteering when I was in grade 5 because my grade school principal, John Tamala, he was a Finnish man, and he brought orienteering to the school, and we opened a club, and there was, I don't know, 5 or 6 of us athletic type guys that joined in, and then he would take us around to all these events. He was an amazing principal, actually. If all teachers and principals were like him, he was the principal of Shaughnessy Public School. That's where I went to public school in Don Mills and Shepherd area in Toronto. And even after I graduated and I went on to grade 7, I think that's when I was 12 years old, he still entertained me as part of the Shaughnessy Orienteering Club, believe it or not. And he would come to the school and pick me up just to take me back to get the other few guys to go to whatever event they were having, because they did events all over the place. Yeah. Lasting memory. He made an impact on my life, that guy. And you know what? I don't know, but I guess my mom chucked them all. I had dozens and dozens of the maps. You know, it's a topographical map. I don't know, that big. And it would have my route on it, because they just take a little section where they have these pinpoints and you have to stamp the card to prove that you were there. And I don't know what happened to those maps. My mom probably just chucked them, but they would have been a nice thing to have. Jen Bear, we're all talking to Olive. Could you sell zipper hoodies? I would buy one for sure. Well, speaking about merchandise, I'm working on some new merchandise. The merchandise that I have in the fourth wall merchandise store, and there is zipper hoodies there. I think one of them is a Fozzie Bear, and one of them is Molly, a Molly Hidden Spring Farm. But I have to, I gotta update the merch line because I haven't done it for 2 years now. That merch is 2 years old, and I don't really focus on that, to be frank. It's something that a lot of people encouraged me to do, and so I did it, and I gave in, and I enjoyed kind of designing all of the different types of merch, and it was fairly simple for me to figure out. But I'll have some new hats and some new tees coming up. There's a woman named Kat Blake, and she's been helping me work on some designs, and she's a viewer of the channel. But there's a nice Dexter one. But what I'll do is what I want to do with that merch anyways, I don't know if I'll get a sample of every single piece, because that's going to cost me $600 if I do that. But what I'll do is I'll just have some samples, and then I'll do a live stream, I was thinking, and then I can showcase that in the live stream and show it. And then from after that, I'll let it go live, because right now it's not live. Only all the old designs are live. But the number one selling type of item is t-shirts. There are a few people that purchased the zipped up hoodies, but the zipped up hoodies are kind of pricey, to be frank. And it's all pricey because it's print on demand, they call it, right? So it's you basically have a design on a t-shirt, somebody can order that t-shirt, but it's not like there's 3,000 t-shirts printed up in advance and then they just ship them out. They actually print whatever you order on the shirt and then ship it out. So all that service costs, extra. So I think the t-shirts are like $30 now, 30 something dollars, especially if it's US dollars too. So by the time you translate it to Canadian dollars, it can get quite pricey. How far down? Kay says, I wish the animals could tell us how they feel. Yeah, that would be nice. Because Olive, too, Olive, she, there was a couple times, a couple weeks ago, where I would okay, let's go. We're going now. It's the morning. And then I would get the leash on her. And then when she went to take like a movement, she would let out a yelp, like, yee, yee, yee. And then so it's, something was hurting her. So what I did at the farm on those days is I just didn't play with her. I told her just to have a rest. And then after a couple days, it went away. So Olive is such an athletic dog, and she's such a farm dog. So she's all over the place on the farm. And it sure is possible that she could tweak something and pull a muscle or strain a ligament, or, just the same as us humans. Dogs can have hip problems, leg problems. So I want her to live a good long life. I don't want her to end up having like arthritis or something. Nancy John, I just had both of my dogs get surgery within the last 6 months. Wow, Nancy John. What surgery? Both of your dogs needed surgery? Wow. Chris Freeman, how you doing, Chris? Hey, Chad, my daughter Cassie would really like to buy a cat. Wink, wink. Kelly Alley, hello. Spot 5040, Bubbles is so enjoying feeling better. She is. Since that first day, it's like more than a week ago now that I actually tried petting her. Since then, I'm able to just walk around anywhere in the cat house and pet her. She's not running away at all. And I mean, you guys saw it in the footage, because what I do is I quickly open up the door and then set up my camera, and then I squat down, and then you guys get to see all the cats coming at me. And Bubbles is like, maybe she's not coming instantly, but maybe after 20 seconds, she's like slowly making her way over. It's so cool. If I can just get Mango like that, then we're golden. I just put out a nice photo that I took today of little Miss Bubbles in the Instagram and Facebook pages. And somebody put a message to me saying, I guess the next step is to get her out on the farm. And I sent her a message back saying, no, I wouldn't say that's the next step. I mean, I think if I'm able to continue getting proper pets and Bubbles is confident and comfortable with me, I guess the next step would be trying to pick her up. But I really don't want to ruin the good momentum that I have stroking her back and stroking her back. That's perfect. So I want to do that for like a while so that she's really healed and comfortable. And then maybe one day I'll try picking her up because I can tell you that she's a feisty cat. I've tried picking her up in the past very gently, and she turns around and bites me. Not bites me that it's bleeding, but she bites me enough that it leaves a mark. So she's basically telling me that she don't like that. So I'd rather get her super comfortable first. Linda Phillips, so happy about Bubbles. I've spent thousands on our 12 farm cats. Yeah. And Linda, you don't even have YouTube, right? Because you figure all of you guys contributed a lot to helping with Bubbles' vet invoice. Big time. Much appreciated. But yeah, it's expensive. Those vets for the 3 girls and Bubbles surgery and the spays and the t-shirts and all the medicine and everything all in, I think it was $4,300. I added it up. And I got the microchip too. Next, I have the bill right here. See, $985 for Maggie. That's including everything. So $1,000 for everything. It's something like 600 something dollars for the spay, but then they charge you for the sweater. They charge you for the meds. They charge you for the vaccines. They charge you for this vaccine. And then so all of that adds up then. And then the microchip as well. So it just became like $1,000 each. It's fine. I'll survive. I'll put out a couple extra videos one day and try to make some extra money, I'm so busy working on my coop though. Gail Matchett says, too bad Remy is camera shy. Yeah, she's not the same boisterous personality as me. YouTube is not like being an on-camera person is not for everyone. And some of you folks, I'm sure, have gone back and watched a lot of the old videos because I do have like 700 videos. I'm different. Like, I mean to say I'm different now compared to like my first 200 episodes. And I mean, the farm's different too, but I'm sure anybody that's watched those videos can see that I'm different. I behave differently. I'm more relaxed. I'm more personable in the videos. And that's just all about growing as a creator. I think if somebody is a perfect creator from the beginning of their videos, it just means they have prior experience doing something similar. But yeah, she's a little bit shy. She's not loud and boisterous like me. Nick B is asking, where do all the cats' names come from? Oh, that's a hard question to answer. So let me just go there for a minute. Dexter. My wife named the black cat Dexter. And then I added the Morgan. So I changed it to Dexter Morgan because at that time, which is a few years ago now, I was right into the TV show Dexter. And then we got Chunk. I named Chunk because he was a really chubby kitten. And we have videos on all this, Nick. You can go back and watch. There's a Barn Cat Adventures playlist, and I have the video when we first got the cats. They didn't even have their names yet. And I had them locked up, and we were training them, and then you can follow all their progress. But Chunk was a chubby gray little kitten. So I named him Chunk because one of my favorite movies growing up was The Goonies. So there's a character in the Goonies movie called Chunk, and he's a chubby kid. So that's his name. Maggie, I just named her Maggie. I like the Rod Stewart song Maggie May, so I named her Maggie May. Of Rod Stewart is his song Maggie May. Maggie May's song is probably my favorite Rod Stewart song. I mean, he has a bunch of great songs, but yeah, what else? Tango and Mango. I was going to name one of them Cash because there's a good movie called Tango and Cash with Kurt Russell and Stallone. But I named the guy Mango because he was orange. And then we got Fozzie Bear. Fozzie Bear has a video all on its own called The Origin Story, Fozzie Bear's origin story. So it's all explained in that video. But I got him from the same place that we got Chunk, Dexter, and Maggie. And the guy who gave it to us, the farm out in Collingwood, Ontario, they were just free cats. They basically said his name was Brother Osmandia. So if you get that, Brother Osmandia, the guy told me that he shortened it to Brazzy. So anybody that grew up in the 70s and 80s must know the TV show called The Muppet Show. So I liked the character Fozzie Bear. And because this cat was so fat and he's like a big teddy bear, I changed his name from Brazzy to Fozzie, and he learned it perfectly because it just sounds alike. So it was easy to change his name. And then Sushi came to us from somebody watching the channel. They had to give up their cat, and she was already named Sushi, so I named her. I didn't change her name. And then there's Little Miss Bubbles. When Bubbles was a tiny little kitten, and again, it's all in the videos, you can see for yourself. She had these massive googly eyes, huge eyes, this cat. And she was the runt of Maggie's litter, but she had these huge eyes, and it just reminded me from Bubbles from the Trailer Park Boys TV show. Well, they have movies too, but any Canadians out there knows the Trailer Park Boys. That's where Bubbles' name comes from. And Bubbles, the character in the show, he's infatuated with kitties as well. So I thought it was a good fit. Oh, Don's in here. I wonder if we can get Don's name right today. Don Luger. Did I get it right, Don? Luger. I don't know. I don't know if I'll ever get it. And I'm good with languages, Don. I studied French right up until grade 13, believe it or not. I was almost pretty fluent in French. Because up here in Canada, you got to take French class. And I was like, it was an easy A for me. So then I met my wife and I started learning Tagalog, Filipino, which is kind of similar to Spanish. So it's, I don't know, I kind of lost the French. USA has very inexpensive spay and neuter to help keep the population down. Yeah. Some people were asking me that question about how the United States has all these programs and functions and mobile vet clinic that do these TNR and spay and neuters and all these things. And I mean, that's hard to find in Canada. If I could just give a description about Canada to all the American friends who watch the channel, America is so big. And when I say big, I mean you're far, far, far more developed than Canada. I'm not talking about big in geographic size. It is big too in geographic size, but your population is like what, 350 million people now? Something like that. Canada's population is 40 million. So the size of Canada's country only has the population of California. So if you think about that, the majority of Canada's big cities are at the southern end of the map, right close to the US border. And I guess it was strategic back when they started building these cities a few hundred years ago. So all the big cities are all across the border of Canada. So it's just an easy trip to go across the border. But Canada is just not developed the same way United States is. United States has more housing, they have more retailers, they have more businesses, more bigger economy. Canada's tiny, tiny, tiny compared to the US. So it is what it is. If I want to go to a grocery store and buy groceries, here in Canada, we only have 3 companies that own everything. There's probably 20 retailers that sell groceries, but it's those 3 retailers that own everything. And it's the same with our banks. We only have like 5 major banks across all of Canada. 5 banks. That's it. How many banks are in the US? There's hundreds of banks. I don't mean branches. I mean different brands, different businesses. And the same goes for telecom companies. We only have Rogers, Bell, and TELUS. That's basically it. 3 companies own all the little small companies. And really, it's the Canadian government's fault for allowing the big companies to keep buying up all the small companies, therefore eliminating competition so they can charge whatever the heck they want. So our cell phone bills up here in Canada is an absurd amount of money. It's like, I think I'm paying like $120 a month just for the plan. And then my wife has a phone and it's added on. It's not quite 120. I think hers is $80. So it's like a $300 cell phone bill because you can switch from Rogers to Bell and maybe they have a sale and then you got to switch back and it's just an annoyance. But that's enough of that. So Canada, we're not quite set up like the US. So the same goes for vets. We don't have the same number of vets. So the vets kind of got you over the barrel. They can charge whatever they want. What are you going to do? Go find another vet? I could probably go find a cheaper place to get the cat spayed, but how much is my time worth trying to waste my time trying to find it, driving there? And it's just a hassle. I'd rather just pay the money and get it done, which is what I did. There you go. Don, your 12-year-old cat's getting CBD oil now? Oh, what's wrong with him that he needs CBD oil? And what do you do with? Do you just drip the liquid into the food? Interesting. Oh no, I just lost the chat. Oh, it just skipped all the way down to the bottom. Oh. Lalia Good Song says definitely more relaxed because you're more confident with your farm. Yeah, that's true. Absolutely true. Psycho Trunks. Oh, I see you're a Leafs fan. I'm an Avs fan. I'm a born and raised Toronto kid. So although I don't live in Toronto now, I think Toronto's just in my heart. So I'm a Blue Jays fan. I'm a Toronto Argonauts fan. I'm a Toronto Raptors fan. And I'm a Toronto Maple Leaf fan. And the Blue Jays aren't really doing that great so far in baseball either. Last year, we had a banging season and we made it all the way to the World Series, but we couldn't pull it off. But this year, a whole bunch of players are getting injured and it's just not looking good. It's hard to keep up with the Yankees. Cat's Meow says, I loved the show Dexter. Good name for a kitty. And we always call Dexter Morgan the Bay Harbor Mouse Butcher instead of just the Bay Harbor Butcher. I thought that's always funny. Chunk and the Truffle Shuffle. Yeah, exactly, Holly. The Truffle Shuffle from the Goonies. That's one of those movies, Holly, that I'm happy that they didn't sell out and try to make a sequel. Because you know what? They just try. If a movie was successful, they try to make another sequel, and sometimes it doesn't work out. They just do it to make more money, I guess. They never have a good enough script. Hollywood is kind of in the tanker these days, though, eh? Nobody's got any money. If you want to take your darling out to a movie, it's going to cost you like $120. By the time you buy some snacks, some drinks, pay for your tickets, it's like an expensive night out. I'd rather just watch it on TV or buy a DVD or something. I love DVDs still. Gerald, he says, I love mango. I also have an orange boy who lives by his own rules. Yeah, man. I don't know. That mango, he's okay being around me, but if I approach him, he takes off. Even if you watch all my videos, Gerald, and you see on a I don't show it in every video, but if you see a clip of me trying to get all the cats back in at the end of the evening, and then I'm mango, mango, I gotta time it perfectly because I can't just go to mango and pick him up. He has to come in on his own terms. So sometimes he's sitting there and I'm like, Mango, are you ready to go in? And then I'll go over there and open the door, and all the other cats are trying to escape. And then he's sitting there and he doesn't want to move. He's just totally ignoring the door that it's open. I'm like, just go in, Mango. It's fine. He just stayed out a couple nights. Remember was it the last video or 2 videos ago? He was in the bunny barn and he stayed that night in the bunny barn. He was really, really scared about that. And then the next day, I opened up the door to the bunny barn to let him out. He stayed in there for like half of the day. And then I went in there to look for him and I couldn't find him. And then, so he was gone somewhere. And I've been calling him all afternoon. And it's like evening already and he's not back yet. He's not coming in. I think he was under the cat house just hiding, I think. But he didn't come in. He stayed out that night, loose on the farm. So I'm always worried when the cats stay out loose on the farm because a predator can get him. I'm hoping that he's scared enough that he'll just hide. But you never know. Sugar Bell, were they Mennonites or Mormons where you got the cats? I don't think they were either. It was just a guy. Okay, this farm was owned by an older couple, and this guy was just kind of helping them with the farm, and they were letting him keep his trailer on the farm property, and there was a big, huge barn, and they must have had 100 cats. Must have. So Maggie, Lovely, was taken already, Dexter, and Chunk, those 4 cats we got from this farm for free. The guy had to trap them because they were all wild feral cats. It took me months to get those cats reasonably tame. And now look at them. I think they're pretty good. One of Cats Meow. I named one of my cats called Jabba. Guess what movie? This Jabba? Jabba. Speaking about Star Wars, there's a new Star Wars film that just came out, and it didn't do well at all. It was in first place in the box office with like $80 million or something. And then in the second week, it only made like $20 million. So it's like people are not interested in that movie at all. And maybe it's a good movie. Maybe it's a fun movie. Who knows? But Hollywood is changing. Oh, there's Scott Zimmerman. My favorite Muppet, Animal. Yeah. Animal is the drummer, right, Scott? Mom Roll Bear says, I had an orange male cat that I named Vincent Mango. We just called him Mango. Yeah. That's funny. Mango, but mango, right? Yeah. Wink, wink. I get it. I see what you did there. SBCNNC. SBCNNC. I guess that's something in North Carolina. You are so good with all your critters, but the kitties especially. I would have never guessed on Bubbles. How funny. Yeah. Sugar Bell, I know TPB from back in the day, and I'm in Dallas. Oh. Maybe she's talking to someone else. I don't know what she's talking about. Where are we at here? Most cats pretty much do as they please. Don, we know Don likes Ted Nugent. Don loves the Nuge. Don Luger, the luge. Luge, Nuge, Noog. I asked if that was where he got the Bubbles name from, since he named them all from movies. Yeah, Holly, I like movies. It's one of my things. I have still in my possession, like in the far end of the basement, I have my TV room. It's just a small little room where I have my Lazy Boy recliners and I have my big TV. And on the wall, I have like maybe there's 1,200 or 1,300. I don't even know. Like, it's not like I count them, but it's a whole wall of movies, old movies, new movies, movies that you can't get on streaming anymore. And I still keep them. And I used to have lots of VHS back in the day, but since they've changed it over to DVD and Blu-ray, I've eliminated the VHS out of my system. Although I still have the VHS player called the VCR. I still have that. And that's because they don't make them anymore. So I, just kept it. I don't know. I'm a sucker for all that stuff because I grew up with it all. I'm a Gen Xer. What do you want? I still have an album collection. I still have like a little stereo and I have the turntable. I even have the little bar with the felt for when the turntable's turning with the record to put that little felt to clean off the record. I still have that. And I still have the little yellow inserts for the 45s. I didn't get rid of all that stuff. I have all my hockey cards when I was a kid. I have like some valuable hockey cards. I have like a Steve Yzerman rookie card. I have Mario Lemieux's rookie card. I have Gretzky's rookie card. And I've never gotten them like appraised or anything like that. I've just kept them. I have them all in these fancy plastic cases so that they're protected. But I mean, I'm sure I could sell that for thousands and thousands if I sold them all. The one thing that I never kept was my G.I. Joe figures. I don't know what my mom did with them all, but they're gone. Dick Champagne says, well, not everywhere in the U.S. I guess he was talking to what I would say. Yeah, it's true, of course. Lots of small towns in the U.S. too, right? I'm just meaning in general. That's because half of Canada no one lives in. Exactly, Dick Champagne. All the northern parts of Canada, it's like tundra. You'll get like permafrost up there. Thomas Winter says, our local humane rescue does free spay-a-thon events. That's nice. You can just bring your cat and they'll do it for free. Ashley Girl says, "Hi, I just caught your live. My little granddaughter loves bubbles. She is 4 on July 24th. We watched the video about her health scare. I want to bring her there to stay for a vacation someday." Oh, she'd probably enjoy it. We have somebody coming. Is it next week? Yeah, next week. Somebody who's from the YouTube channel. They watched the YouTube channel and then they wanted to come for a stay. We just had a guest too from Toronto, and he came up for a stay with his mom from Barbados, and they came for 2 nights. Very nice people. He was taking some nice photographs all over the farm. That was one of his hobbies. Lally, a good song, says, "We got a bank on every corner." We have credit union banks in the US too. Yeah, we have credit unions here too, but I think there's only 2 or 3 different kind of credit unions. And credit unions don't have the same power as banks do. If you want to get like loans or mortgages and stuff like that, it works differently up here in Canada. Setsuko Maid. I went to Canada last year. It was so beautiful, and people are so nice and friendly. Setsuko Maid. Hope I'm saying that right. Where are you from? Is that your name? Setsuko? Is that Japanese? Sounds Japanese. Moritomo says, "We have the same problem here in Japan." Oh, there's another Japanese. Oh, where am I? Just Cat's Meow says, "Me too on the albums. I have a Kenwood turntable, speaker, and amp." Yeah, you still have all your old stuff too, eh? Gracie Lou Flatbush. "I'm watching a program called Clarkson Farm, and the main host said his dog had pyometra and that the surgical vest and had that surgical vest on after surgery. I wouldn't have known what it was if it weren't for you." So that's cool. So you already learned it from Bubbles' issue, and then you're watching Clarkson's Farm. Clarkson's Farm, he's a Brit, right? He's the guy from the car show, and then he had a farm and all that, and it's a very successful TV show too. Holger Knoll always wanted to know, how is it going with keeping the duck pond clean? Well, keeping the duck pond clean isn't working at all. It's kind of yucky now. I don't know if the water's putrid or anything, but what I do know is the bottom of the pond has a bunch of muck. And my wife started the garden, as you saw in the past couple videos. So I'm just waiting until some of the seeds start to sprout. And then what I'm going to do is use a pump to pump some of the water. I don't even know how am I going to do it, really. Maybe I'll just fill up buckets and then use buckets. But I don't want to waste the water, because I'm sure it's really good, fertile water. So I wanted to water everything with that water so that I don't waste all those bacterial nutrients that are in there. But yeah, the pond does need a bit of work. And I have this plan to build a bog filter, although the chicken coop is taking priority. And then we had all these cat issues. So I've been stressed all about that too. And I mean, I have to pace how much money I spend. Right now, I'm spending a little bit of money on the chicken coop. So that's what I'm focused on. But yeah, so I think in the near future, I'm going to be draining the pond and then cleaning it out somehow. And I will make a video about it. It'll be all included in the vlogs. So you'll see you'll see the condition of it and what I'm doing with it. Getting allergies right now. We don't even have any cats in here. I get allergies on and off for no reason. Ashley Girl says, did you ever think of collaborating with your neighbors to offer horseback riding for your guests? The horses would have to be trail riding horses. It's a good question, but they do trail rides already. They're an equestrian farm, so they do trail rides already. That's all those horses that you see in the field. They are all trail riding horses, and they have a trail guide. I think she's from New Zealand, actually. I can't remember now, but yeah. So they do that. Like they're a massive farm. They're 200-acre farm, and the family has owned it since the 1960s. And I mean, honestly, I'm such a small time compared with them. They're like a big time real farm. So I don't know. I just never thought about it. Who knows what the future holds for our farm stay business? It's an ongoing process. It's difficult, I'll tell you, to find a balance between putting in the effort to get people to come and rent it and then how much it costs us to deal with it after the fact. So if there's somebody who books and they're like 6 or 7 people and they use all the rooms, which means they use all the linens, it's like we charge $450 a night weekends, $350 a night. It's like it's not really earning like a huge amount of money because our labor has a value. You know what I mean? My wife is doing all the work inside the house. It's not like I'm paying her to clean the house like as if you would if you hired a cleaning company. So we're just trying to get it to the point where it's at least worth it. Yeah, you might have to start over with the pond. Bev says you might have to start over with the pond, add a filter. So, Bev, there is a filter. The waterfalls is a filter, but I just don't think that the filter can accommodate ducks. As soon as you add a whole squadron of ducks into a small little pond like that, we see the effects now, what's happening. So, yeah, that's why I'm saying I'm thinking I need a separate pond that has lots of plants. You know what I mean? Because the plants is what filters the water and the filter, yes, but the plants do a lot of the filtration too. So that's why these bog filters are popular because it's like it's wet, but there's lots of soil there. It's like a bog. And you don't want ducks in there because the ducks will just ruin it. So I have to figure that part out. I'm thinking maybe to raise it up, like raise it up off the ground, like with like wood, so that the ducks can't get into it. And hopefully they don't jump up there or anything, because that'll be just kind of a disaster. Anything in the water, the ducks ruin it because they're swimming and splashing and going crazy in the water. Anyways, what are we up to? We got 230 people in here. That's pretty good. I mean, it's a Friday night. A lot of people were busy when I put the message out, but this is the only time I have. I'll be busy all weekend. And Lally, I can't wait to see the new coop. All I got to do is edit the video. I was going to do that tonight. And then I said, okay, if I have to edit the video tonight, I'm going to be busy tomorrow. So when am I going to do a live stream then? It's going to be like another 2 weeks from now. So I didn't do enough. I didn't do a live stream for a few weeks. I want to ride a horse all over your property when we come to visit. Well, Ashley girl, the farm next door do horse trail rides, and they come to our property all the time. Sometimes I've shown it in the videos as well. Hold Your Nose says, I want to use the opportunity to thank you for the efforts and sharing your great journey. Well, thank you for joining us. Appreciate it. Lalia says, why does YouTube only allow 3 hypes a week? I don't know. It's YouTube is like, I don't know. It's like a science. I don't have an answer. Don says, "You ever watch Tom Green farm videos?" Yeah, I did. I did catch some of his shorter videos. I haven't watched any of the longer ones because I just don't have time. But I've seen some of his stuff. I mean, it's a fad because it's Tom Green. He's somewhat of a celebrity up here in Canada, although he's been out of the limelight for many years now. But he's back on TV too, Don. Have you seen that? He has a TV show called The Tom Green Farm. It's on Crave. I don't even know. Back to the hype thing. I don't even know what's the effect of the hype. I have not done enough research on it. I don't know how much it's affecting or not affecting. So, I can't really comment on whether or not it's beneficial. If it is beneficial, then why do they limit how many hypes somebody can do? So I just don't know. All I know is that YouTube is hard. Trying to do YouTube and be successful is so much harder now than it was 3 years ago. Like, I mean, if I just I'll give you some numbers right now. Since I'm on the topic of YouTube, I'll give you some numbers, okay? Our subscriber count now is up to 648,000 subs. And now for the last month, which is a 28-day period, we have 493,000 views across all my videos. Now that sounds like a lot, but it's not really a lot because there's like 1,000 videos between shorts and long form. Then 67 hours of watch time. Now, I don't know if you noticed or not, but I've been throwing in a lot of longer videos. And I think a lot of creators are also doing longer videos. And that's because YouTube is throttling back everybody's views somehow. So it's tough to get views. So it's tough to get money. A lot of people are counting on their monthly money. And then if it goes down, it's unpredictable, YouTube. And we gained 1,300 subs in the last month. So 1,300 subs is not really that good. Because last year in the summer, every single month I was gaining 2,500 or 2,800. And then so YouTube has done something since about December, January. And yeah, I don't know. It's just tough. They're making it tough. Oh, I was watching a video today, my own video. I clicked on it just to answer some comments, and the video started playing, and an ad started. And I can't even remember what was the ad. But you know what? When I pushed, you hover your computer mouse over the the video, and then the time of the ad shows up. You know how long this ad was? 52 minutes, 48 seconds. So of course I skipped my own ad. How could there be an ad for 52 minutes? What kind of an ad is that? That's like a full-on TV show. It's like longer than most of the videos. I was laughing to myself because how does YouTube figure that anybody in there is going to be watching that? I don't know. It was like an infomercial type ad. A lot of people in here are not too interested in Tom Green's farm show. Because it's a gimmick. It's only because it's Tom Green. The videos themselves are not, there's no substance. He's not doing anything in the video. He's just, I don't know, going to be playing a guitar, or he's going to be riding his horse, and it's a beautiful property. He's got beautiful animals. He's got old barns, and it's Tom Green. So I guess he's hoping that all of that will make it successful. Lalia says Hidden Spring Farm should be up top because it's educational and fun. Yeah, I mean, I like your Canada flag. Oh, that thing up there? That's a pendant, or we call it a pendant. I'm a Canadian promoter. I like Canada. Don, he says, I pay $13 for no ads. You spelled ads wrong. Don, that's good. So that way you don't have to worry about those ads. And us creators do, in fact, make a little bit of money from all of the premium viewers. So it's not like because you're a premium viewer that the creator's not being supported. We are, supported. Oh, here's Kay. She says, I always recommend YouTube Premium. It's worth it if you spend a lot of time on YouTube. YouTube is practically taking over cable TV. Have you guys noticed this? YouTube is getting more views every day than TV. How long before TV is gone? They don't even make any good TV shows anymore. There's all the good TV shows now. Did you guys notice? All the good TV shows now are on the streaming networks. I've been seeing in my TikTok all of this new Rip and Beth and Rip Dutton from the Yellowstone series. I want to watch it, but I don't get who is it? Paramount. I only have Netflix. But anyways, I don't know. Where's the Seinfelds and the Friends and the Everybody Loves Raymond and Home Improvement? Where are all those kind of shows on TV? I feel like they're gone. It's all reality TV, which is not even really reality anymore. It's like those are all scripted. Anyways, Tom Green's farm is just outside of Ottawa, Ontario. That's where he's from, in Ottawa. Jen Bear says, I didn't realize I wasn't subscribed on my cell. So I subscribed, but it won't let me chat for 24 hours. Jen Bear, yeah, because when I'm setting up the settings to do the live stream, I set it that a subscriber has to be subscribed for at least 1 day. So that's why. But I didn't realize that. So you're saying I didn't realize I wasn't subscribed on my cell. So where were you subscribed then? On your TV? Is that what you're saying? Because I think as long as you have a YouTube account, it'll play anywhere. You don't need to have a separate account for your phone and a separate account for your TV or your tablet or wherever else you're watching. I think. Lalia says, I hate commercials. The repetition kills me. Ruth Johnson says, I rarely watch TV anymore. I watch YouTube. The videos are more fun. Yeah, I mean, my wife, we're just talking about that the other day. We were saying, like, how many hours of TV do we watch in a week? And it's like bare minimum. So we used to watch Survivor all the time. We used to watch like a bunch of different shows. And it's like, it's just crap now. And I think we're paying $240 or something for our TV setup. We have here in Canada, we have a company called Bell, and they have the fiber optic network. And so we have internet with them and the fiber TV, which it works very well. But it's just, I don't know. They're making all the good shows on the streaming networks. Somebody is asking, how big is Ontario compared to the US? It looks huge on the map. Well, let me tell you something, Finrod 8432. If I, from my place, want to drive to our next province over, meaning I have to go up and across the province, it takes me like 18 hours just to get out of Ontario. So if that gives you any idea how big it is, I mean, I'd have to Google the square area to compare it to anything, but I think Ontario is bigger than all of the individual states. Well, maybe not Alaska. Alaska is pretty big too, but Ontario is massive. Oh, Paisley, she just put Ontario is 415,000 square miles. All right. Paisley's on the ball faster than me. Josie M. Chad, say hi to Remy for me. I can't wait to see the new chicken coop. Well, I'm going to have the video on Monday. I got the base done, I got the floor decking done, and I have the walls framed. And then at the end of the video, I show you like kind of a description of how the layout is. Psycho Trunk says even the news is on YouTube. Yeah, they all have YouTube channels. They're all making money off of the cable, and then they also have YouTube channels to make more money. Holly says, I don't pay for streaming services either. That's the hard thing, though. But there's so many good shows. There's I want to watch Tulsa King, you know, the Sylvester Stallone TV show, Tulsa King. And I want to watch Billy Bob Thornton in Landman. And I mean, I can't watch it because I don't get those streaming networks. So I'm like, man. Who's that? OC Fress. OC Fress? Aussie Press? I don't know how to say that. They're asking, is it possible to do a vlog on the day and life of Olive from her waking to her first meal, etc.? I asked this question a few weeks ago. Maybe? That's a hard video to do. That's probably why I haven't done it. Maybe it would be a good, fun video. But if you think about Olive waking up in the morning, and then it would have to be on a day, obviously, that I'm working on the farm all day. I would do it on the Saturday. So then, you know, we're getting in the truck, and then she gets out of the truck, and then we get in the mule, and then we go driving the mule to whatever it is I'm doing on the farm, and then I'm going to do all the animals because that's what Olive does. She does the animals with me. She's my bodyguard. She's my partner in crime. And then, so it would kind of be like a regular vlog video. And then at the end of the day, Olive would be eating her food. So I don't know. I suppose it could just be a title of Day in the Life of Olive, the Old English Sheepdog, that could make a good viral video. You never know. I'll have to script something out and kind of make it fun. And that kind of a video, sadly, you wouldn't get all of the footage in one day because you would want to have a bunch of funny events if you're following Olive's life. Like if you think about Olive, I would want to have like all the highlights for Olive in one video. And I don't get all the highlights in one day. Sometimes I'm just using my phone to film her jumping over the fence. Or there's other times where she's biting the butts of the geese or playing with the ball or playing with the frisbee or climbing into the mule or who knows what it would be. Sometimes she's rolling on the ground. You know what I mean? Like, you know how they just roll around and get all farm dirty? Sometimes she's doing that. So I could probably compile a whole bunch of clips. It'd be fun. Lalia says, Tulsa King is so good. Well, I like Stallone anyways. So I've liked Stallone ever since it was him and Schwarzenegger in the 80s, back with all the action films. So I wanted to watch the Tulsa King because I thought it would be like a nice show. I see all the clips, and I feel like I'm scrolling through TikTok, and then I see the clips of the TV show, and then I get interested, and then, like somebody gets shot in the head or something in the show and they die. So now it spoils it for me. And I'm like, damn it. So every time I see something with the Tulsa King, I just keep scrolling quickly because I don't want it to ruin it for me. The Mayor of Kingstown. I haven't seen that one either, Holly. Yeah. Sugar Bell says, could the pigs live with goats? I don't think you would have pigs live with goats. And I don't think you're asking the right question. Could the pigs live with goats? I don't think that's the right question. I think the right question would be, should they live together? So, I mean, my quick answer would be no, because I don't know, you don't want them sharing water. The pigs are just pigs, right? I mean, that's why us humans have a derogatory term about pigs, because they get dirty. You know what I mean? So they're like, pigs are pigs, or you eat like a pig, or stop being such a pig. Like my parents used to say that to us all the time. Oh, you guys are such pigs, because we were four boys in the house, my dad and three sons. So of course we're boys. We do all the boy stuff. Anyways, I have a longer term plan to get goats. I don't know what kind of goats. I definitely think that I don't want to be milking goats, because that's just going to add more work. I'm like, I don't want to. I don't want to add work. I want to help the farm. I want to help the channel, but I don't want to add too much work. If that makes sense, because I got my chores down right now to 30 minutes, let's say. So if you add goats, now it's going to be 50 minutes. If I add sheep and goats, now it's going to be an hour and 20 minutes. You know what I mean? So every time you add an animal, you're adding on to the length of time that you do chores. Now, maybe that would be okay, like all the other farm channels who don't work for a living anymore. All they do is YouTube. That would be okay. But YouTube doesn't pay me enough money to live. So I still work. Diane says, have you ever thought about writing a book about your farm adventures, or even a children's book? Yes, I have thought about it, Diane, and I think I would lean more to the children's book type. Like a picture book with just a little bit of storyline. I don't think I would get into writing a novel or anything like that. I know Goldshaw Farm has started writing a whole bunch of books. You guys follow Goldshaw Farm? He's got a great channel, mind you, but I don't think I have the acumen or the patience to be sitting at a computer and just typing out, writing a book. Maybe one day as I get older, I don't know. Maybe that guy, the Goldshaw Farm guy, maybe he likes to just sit in the office and do that kind of thing. I like to be outside cutting trees, using the chainsaw and the sawmill. So that's what I do in my free time. But anyways, to each their own. There's no right or wrong answer. But yes, I have thought about having Hidden Spring Farm children's books. Jen Bear, a one-day olive show sounds really fun. Yeah, could be fun. I'll have to put together some kind of a script and then, I don't know, make it happen. I did a video like that for Molly back in the day. She was just a little pup on that time. And I put, what was the title? It was Old English Sheepdog's Morning Routine. That's what I put as the title. And it did well. But mind you, I didn't have a big channel back then. So it's all relative. I have lot of videos when I go back into my old videos, and they only have 800 views. Because back then I might have only had 300 subscribers. The channel's grown leaps and bounds over the past few years. Oh. Goats would drive him crazy. Why would goats drive me crazy, Holly? Are goats hard to handle? I've heard that they're escape artists, but as long as you make a proper fence, it should be fine, no? Scott Zimmerman says every news channel is the same script. Yeah, well, you know why that is because they're all controlled by a liberal government, whether it's Canada's liberals or the US Democrats. All you got to do is look for who the donors are to which party, and then that's who they tailor their news to benefit. Sad, really, because the news is not really news. The news is tailored to fit whatever political party they support. Sadly, that's it about politics. We're done. Don says 5 Texas would fit in Ontario. Is that true, Don? Did you look it up? I thought Texas was a pretty big state. I drove through northern Texas one time years ago, and it scratched up my Honda Pilot SUV because of the tumbleweeds. I drove into the tumbleweeds and they scratched up the hood of my truck. Didn't know that tumbleweeds were hard and rigid bushes. I thought they were light and feathery bushes. Anyways. Kelly Simpkins says, which Asian fruit or veggie that your wife plants is your favorite? Oh man, that's a hard question to answer. What's my favorite Asian fruit or veggie? I mean, I would have to say the Asian pear. We have one tree in the orchard. It's an Asian pear. And I can honestly say that we haven't yet got fruits off of it that you can eat. We've gotten fruits, but they were only that big. But whenever my wife buys Asian pears, usually they're a big, huge thing, and they have a white flesh, and they're extremely crunchy and extremely juicy. And that's the kind of fruit that I like. I like sweet and crunchy and juicy. That's why I like the Honey Crisp apple and the Fuji apple. But yeah, if I was to, there's a lot of vegetables that my wife grows that I'm not into at all. She grows something called ampalaya, and that is the bitter gourd. And it is, in fact, bitter. If you eat that and you just eat it the way it is, it's like you make that kind of reaction face because it's just yuck to me. But she cooks it like with a bunch of other stuff and sauces, and it kind of gets rid of some of the bitterness. But I'll leave the bitter gourd to her. I'll just stick with carrots and all the stuff that I like. I like beans, like green beans. I like peas. I like all the tomatoes. Yeah. A donkey. Bev says a donkey. Yeah, it'd be nice to have a donkey. Mini donkey. Those mini donkeys are pretty cute. I've seen some mini Highland cows in TikTok, but I never know if they're real. They're very cute looking cows. They're the shaggy cow, eh? Okay, I lost it. Oh, I lost it. I lost it. Bev says, I favor you, Chad, over Goldshaw. Okay, that's thanks, Bev. I mean, there's enough for everybody. It's not like you can only watch Goldshaw or only watch Hidden Spring. He's got a great channel to aspire to. Him and Cog Hill Farm and Lumna Acres, those are all like the successful farm type channels. They're like really successful. None of them even work for a living. They all just do social media. They're making so much money off social media that they can actually quit their job. I'm not there yet. Maybe I'll be there someday. Scott says, Billy and Bobby finally made sense of my mom telling me not to eat like a pig when I was a kid. Yeah. Finrod, a few sheep could eat down the grass near the pond. But here's the thing, Finrod. We got ducks and geese down by the pond. So are you going to have sheep there and ducks and geese? Will the geese try to attack the sheep? Because the geese attack everything. They get along with the ducks for the most part, but they attack everything. They go after, so I don't know. I do have an idea to have some sheep up in the upper pasture, though. So I haven't discounted sheep, maybe like 2 sheep, 3 at the most. But the purpose behind the sheep would be to mow the grass, you know what I mean? But I don't want to have to shear the sheep. Like, that's not something I'm going to be doing. Or then if you're going to have, that's the problem with sheep. You're going to have to hire somebody to come and shear the sheep. Now you're spending more money to maintain the animals. I think they have hair sheep, like sheep that don't have to be shaved. Anyway, Cat's Meow says, where did you get your skills for building? Oh, man, Cat's Meow, that's a long story. Hold on. Here. You see these kind of books? They were made by Home Depot. This one's flooring, landscaping, wiring. There's a whole set of these books, okay? And I bought these books back in the 90s when we didn't even really have the internet yet. And, they teach you everything that you need to know in these books. This is before YouTube, people. This is, before the internet. You don't need these books anymore because you have YouTube. YouTube can teach you literally everything. So when my wife and I got our very first house, let me take you back. It is 1997. It's a few years after we were married. We got our first house, an old rundown beater house. It was 70 years old at Coxwell and Queen in Toronto. And that house needed fixing. And I didn't really know much about home improvement back then. So that was like my practice house. And I started enjoying it and getting good at it. And we sold that house after a few years. We fixed up the whole house. Mostly cosmetic stuff, but I put some new flooring tiles in and some new laminate flooring in. And so I just, it piqued my interest. And then, I don't know, we just bought another fixer-upper, and then we lived in that house for a few years, and we fixed it up as well. And you sell that for more money than what you bought it for. So you're able to make money doing that, and you're working at your job, so to speak. So that's not really your job. So you're able to make extra money on the side doing that. You can't do that anymore because real estate is so expensive now. You can't buy an $800,000 fixer-upper, spend $400,000 to fix it up, and then sell it for $1.5 million for a profit. Who's going to be buying that? Back in my day, when I first started buying houses, they were $150,000 or $200,000. So that ship has sailed. You can't do that anymore. But at least my wife and I did make a little bit of money doing that on the side. Okay, where am I? Yeah, Paisley says goats and pigs still need their own spaces, especially for foraging reasons. Yeah, they're just different. That's why that's the same reason why I don't want to keep waterfowl in the same house as regular poultry. Ducks and chickens don't do well living together. And that's just my experience. I'm sure there are people who keep their ducks in with their chickens, but I can tell you they don't have 30 ducks and 30 chickens. Maybe they have 5 chickens and 2 ducks. And then it's like you can kind of manage it that way. But the ducks, they just need their own space to get wet because they make a mess of everything. Uh, Lalia. Have Billy and Bobby slimmed down even more? I don't think so. I'm feeding them the same amount. So I'm assuming that Billy's pregnant because the two pigs have been together for like more than a month now. So I assume at this point she's pregnant. Big T says, I liked the video a few videos ago where you mowed. Yeah. I actually filmed a segment, when was it? Sunday? Where I did that same thing with the mower because my wife has these flowers coming up. So she wanted me to cut the grass around the flowers. And I used that drone to follow me around. Somebody said in that video, they said it looked like Mario Kart because the drone is following me and all you see is the mower and then my back because it's behind me. And I guess it kind of looked like Mario Kart. True. Cookie Kate says, we love your farm. That's awesome. So cool to know that so many people love what we're doing on the farm. Rhonda Sears says, Rhonda, I had goats before. They are very picky eaters. They need very clean food. I definitely wouldn't be good around pigs. Yeah, and I'm sure that they eat different food, right? Is goat considered a ruminant? Like goats are the kind of animal that you have to feed them hay in the winter, right? They need grass and stuff. Pigs aren't like that. Pigs don't need hay. Finrod, does your wife plant water chestnuts or are they more of a Chinese vegetable? She doesn't plant water chestnuts, but she does use water chestnuts in spring rolls. She makes something called a spring roll. It's probably the size of my finger. And then, she puts like, I think, ground pork or ground beef, water chestnut, and some spices. And then she rolls it up and fries it. And they're called spring rolls, anyways. I love them. The water chestnut gives such a different, unique flavor to the meat. It's incredible. So, but no, she doesn't grow them. I don't even know how water chestnuts grow. Water chestnuts, is that like a different than a regular chestnut? We do have a few chestnut trees, but they're not big enough to give chestnuts yet. Lalia says, I like the drone videos. Finra, the newer videos with the drone behind you is cool. Yeah, I like to incorporate that. I found this drone and then I thought it's fun. Give you guys like a different perspective as I'm making the videos. It's always a challenge making YouTube videos that are continually keeping the viewer interested. From a creator's perspective, we call it average view duration. And I've been trying to get to the 50% mark for the past few years, and I'm still not there. And that kind of tells me that there's probably some people that are not interested in everything that I show on the farm. So I think all you people that are in the chat right now, you guys are all the Hidden Spring Farm crew. You guys probably all watch the whole video, but there are probably a lot of people that watch 5 minutes of the video and they say, I can't stand this guy. He's talking too much. And then they just change the channel. So it brings your average view duration down. So I'm still stuck somewhere around 46, 47%, which doesn't mean it's good or bad. I'm not trying to say that. I'm just saying I've been trying to get at least over the 50% mark. So I'm always trying to, you know, make the videos not boring. And yes, you folks don't find it boring. You might watch the whole thing, but I know that there's a lot of people that must find it boring because they're not watching the whole video. You'd be surprised when I put out a video, I get dozens of comments in the comment section of the video on things that you can see in the video. So it tells me that either one of two things happened. One, you didn't watch the whole video, or you've watched to a point and then you put a comment and then you continue watching and you haven't yet found the answer to whatever you're asking. So those are two possibilities. More Sunflower says, have you ever thought about how long you'll be able to take care of this farm? We're all getting older after all. None of us knows what might happen an hour from now or tomorrow or in the future. Yeah, I don't think I put too much thought into it, to be honest. I'm uh, I'm not the kind of person that lives my life planning to croak tomorrow, you know? So my wife and I have a will. We have estate planning. And if something were to happen to one of us, the other person will take over. If something were to happen to both of us at the same time, then we have an executor for that who's going to take care of everything, take care of the estate. I'm sure they would be just selling everything off at some point. If something were to happen to me personally, then I'm sure there would be no more YouTube channel because my wife wouldn't be continuing the channel. My wife would probably talk to the neighbors and ask them for help running the farm for a while because she couldn't do it by herself. But yeah, that's not something that I normally think about. It's if something were to happen, then you got to deal with it. But I'm only 50 years old. I don't think that's that old. I got cripes. I got at least 30 more years left in me that I can still have fun building up our farm and doing projects and living the farm. And another 15 years from now, I'm going to have to rebuild another chicken coop, right? Because it's going to be too old. And there's always going to be something to do on the farm. And maybe by then I'll have a helper on the farm. Who knows? Maybe if the YouTube channel takes off, I can afford help, or who knows what the future holds. Maybe, yes, I've thought about it a little bit, but not to the point where I'm figuring it all out. I'm just enjoying life on the farm for now, trying to build my channel. It's a fair question, though. Deb K. Hey there. Who is the singer of that song, The House of Cards? I love that song. Wow. I can't get it for you right now. I'd have to look it up. It's in the YouTube creator audio library. That's where I get all of the music from. YouTube provides non-copyrighted music for us creators. And that's where I get all my music from. Most of it, I don't like it. And I only select very few songs from it. But, you know, it is what it is. Kay says, I don't want to be a Debbie Downer, but my husband unexpectedly died at 54. Yeah, I mean, that's sad. I might croak next week. Who knows? But like I said, my wife and I have estate planning. I don't know what more planning we would do. I mean, if I think about it just for a minute here, if I was to die and my wife was left to live the rest of her life, she would probably just sell off whatever we could. She's not going to keep everything what we have. We have our house, so we have the farm. You know what I mean? Like she might, who knows? She might go back to the Philippines and retire. So, it's tough to kind of plan all that stuff out. You try to stay healthy, work hard, and make sure you have enough finances available that if something does happen, the other spouse is taken care of. But, knock on wood, nothing's going to happen to me by the time I'm 54 because that's way too young to go. Hey, Kay, your husband died at 54, eh? That's way too young. Mundy Ponder says, I learned today that peppermint plants deter ticks. Did you know that? Yeah, I think somebody mentioned that before, but I don't even know what a peppermint plant is. Is it a perennial? Or do I have to plant it every year? Because I don't think a peppermint plant is very popular in Canada. So I just don't know. I'm not fully educated on peppermint plants. I like peppermint patties. As a kid, I used to eat them. Oh, Cookie Kate says, do you ever think you'd add more cats to the cat crew? Who knows? It's hard to say. If I don't think I'm actively looking for more cats, but I mean, if someone were to be an avid viewer of the farm and they were like a local and they needed to find a new home for their cat, I mean, maybe I would consider it. Holly says, can we stop with the death talk? Yeah, exactly. I don't want to think about that. I'm strong as an ox. I went to the doctor last December. Prior to that, I hadn't been to the doctor for 10 years. My wife is always on my case about getting checked out. I'm kind of the opinion that everybody's got like a time, but live your life. That's it. Live your life to the fullest. Oh, Mundy Ponder is from Peterborough. I think every year. So I guess I'm thinking maybe it's like a mint. Maybe it'll start to spread or something. Kay says, do you grow catnip for the cats? So you've missed some videos there, Kay. Because there's been at least 2 episodes in the past couple weeks that I've actually shown the catnip a lot. There was a whole scene where Fozzie was lying in the catnip, rolling around, and I was trying to get him out of there because he was high on drugs in the catnip. So yes, we do have a garden bed for catnip. And last year I dried it out and I saved it throughout the winter. And I gave it to the cats sometimes. But, yeah. Anyway, whoever was asking me about that song, House of Cards, if you send me an email on it, then I can reply to you with the artist. But I'll have to look it up. There was a bunch of people asking me in that video, and I answered in the comments who the artist was. Deb K, when I turned 70, I was so bummed. Everybody thinks I'm in my 50s. When I tell them, they all get shocked. Oh, yeah? So you look like you're still young, eh, Deb K? Deb K, 1986. What's the 1986 for? That's not your date of birth then, right? Lally, I remember watching and laughing at Fozzie. Yeah. Yeah, you must have missed Fozzie in the catnip. That was in one of the gardening videos. He came into the garden with my wife and I, and then he just lied. He found the catnip and he was lying in it. Everybody who's saying Radiohead is the singer of House of Cards, I don't think that's the House of Cards song that she's talking about, because it's a non-copyright artist that YouTube provides. But like, I don't have access to it right now. I have to look it up. Or maybe I do have access to it. Wait, how about if I... No, I can't do it with this on the screen. Bev says, "Do you dry the catnip?" Yeah, I hung up the catnip and laid it out flat last year, and it all dried up until it's all crinkly. And then we took it off of the stem and we just crinkled it all up and put it in a can. And then every once in a while, I'll take it out for the cats. And the cats, the problem with giving catnip to the cats is that, like in the winter, I mean to say, because they're in the cat house, they all start to fight. Even though I'll have 7 or 8 different piles of catnip, they all want to share. Oh, use your phone. Somebody says use your phone. I don't know if I could get that on my phone though. The phone doesn't have the audio library, only the computer does. Yeah, I don't know if I could do that. What video is that from? That House of Cards. Anyway, whoever it was, if you email me, I will tell you. I'll look it up. Monday Ponder, are you hatching any eggs this year? Well, if you just watched the video from yesterday, we were hoping that the turkeys would have hatched their own eggs, but it turns out there are no eggs under there. So the answer is no, we're not hatching any eggs this year. All of the chickens are at retirement age and they're not mating anymore to the point that I can get fertile eggs. Last year, we hatched a bunch of ducklings, so I'm not hatching more ducklings this year. And I don't want to add more geese into the mix, so we're not hatching any geese. So the quick answer is no, we're not doing any hatching. Okay. I guess we'll cut it off at the 2-hour mark, folks? So we got a few more minutes. Get any last-minute questions in. That's true, Scott. He got the mixed signals and he was all high. He didn't know what to do. All you guys are naming names of who sings a song called House of Cards. You guys wouldn't know this artist because it's a non-copyright artist. It's like a no-name. Peppermint grows like a weed. Okay. So it's really part of the mint family then, right? Peppermint. Yeah. Deb K, your wife is quite the gardener. You'll never run out of food. Yeah. I mean, a couple years ago, I made a whole video about food security and all what we're trying to build here at the farm. Now, we haven't done a lot of meat activity, and we've just kind of dabbled with meat birds. We did a few meat ducks one year. We did some meat chickens another year, and I wanted to raise some meat turkeys, maybe just 3 or 4 that we could put in the freezer for meat. But if you talk about like food security, we have 45 fruit trees in the orchard that we planted. They're not giving really fruits yet, but it's at some point in the future, they should be given lots of fruits. We have a blueberry patch. We have a blackberry patch started. We have a raspberry patch. We have a strawberry patch in the garden. We have a little miniature grape vineyard that we planted last year, and all the vines seem to be doing very well. There's wild raspberries all around the place. So if you think about that, over the next many years, we should have tons of food. And it's not only going to be for us, right? Like we're the type of people that share, so the animals help a lot. Not help, the animals benefit a lot from some of the food that we grow. You've been so generous with your time. Well, I mean, 2 hours. I enjoy these live streams too. So it's nice to get caught up, and thanks for the evening, Chad. You're welcome. Not a problem. I'm pretty good at music trivia, but mostly 70s rock. Okay. Deb K, do you think you'll do the bees and get honey out of that? I have a plan to get bees. It's on my list of things to do, but I want to build a bee barn. I want to simplify helping the bees survive the winter. Any cold climate that has bees, every single year, some or all of the bees die. And I've seen the bee guys, they cover the beehive with all these insulated packs and then they tape it all up. And I mean, that still doesn't work 100%. Sue says, I'm late to the chat, Chad. G'day, mate. G'day, mate. I can't really do an Australian accent. I've been to Australia. My wife and I took a trip to Australia and New Zealand many years ago. I actually tried an exotic meat platter where we had a yabby, which was like kind of a lobster crawfish kind of thing, which I didn't like it anyway. I had emu. I had crocodile. I had kangaroo. Kangaroo just tastes like beef, as a matter of fact. But yeah, I like trying different kinds of foods. Sugar Bell, what about the bats in the cat house? Well, I'm working on a video right now that talks a little bit about wildlife and farming and how it has to go together. So it's not done. That's probably going to be another week or so. But that'll be fun. Greenhouse around the hives. Something like that idea. Samantha has an idea. Greenhouse around the hives. Maybe. I don't think all bats carry rabies, Holly. I mean, anything can carry rabies. But what are you going to do? I have to figure out how the bats are getting in. What time is it in Australia? I'm sure it's like morning for them. Oh. Mom Robert says, do you ever think about tapping your maple trees? Yes, I do plan on doing that. Don says, how do you dispatch the birds? Well, it's a long story. You can't really talk about it too much, but it's I do have a couple of videos on it, and one of them I think is called Our Experience Raising Meat Birds for the First Time. I think that we did that a couple of years ago. Yeah, Lalia, Australia and New Zealand are on your list. It was an extraordinary trip. It's a very young country, Australia and New Zealand as well. And the trip was amazing. The food was great. It's easy to travel around there because they speak English. You know what I mean? You're not traveling to like Thailand or something where they don't speak English. And I don't know. I found getting around was easy. It was nice. We had lots of good food. We swam snorkeling in the Great Barrier Reef. We went flying in an airplane over Ayers Rock. Ayers Rock is the biggest rock in the world, and it's just in the outback. You gotta go out to the outback by plane to just stay in this palm resort, and then they have lots of other activities for you to do, and that's one of them is going to visit Ayers Rock. It's this massive, massive rock. You can't believe how big it is. And I mean, what else did we do in Australia? We went to Sydney. We toured inside the Sydney Opera House, which is not really available for everybody to do. Did you know that the Sydney Opera House is made with tiny little mosaic tiles? I always thought it was made with canvas tarps when I saw it in pictures. Yeah, we visited the famous zoos over there. What's the zoo called? Oh, geez, I forgot. Taranga. Taranga Zoo. We visited. Yeah. Oh yeah, it's they got all the. We went to the Phillips Island and we saw the penguin parade where you sit in these bleachers and it's just an ocean, right? All you see is an ocean, but then all of a sudden, all of these tiny little blue penguins, they're the smallest penguin in the world, and they just all start walking out on the beach, and then they walk through where we're sitting, and they walk through, and the government has it all set up as a conservation area, and they all go to their little houses and they breed. It's really well done. Oh, everybody, I keep talking. I said I was going to cut it off at 2 hours because I got to go to bed. Tomorrow's Saturday, so I usually on Saturday and Sunday I put in like 14-hour days because that's when I get everything done. Anyways, if I don't cut it off, I'll just keep talking. So thank you everybody for joining me. I don't know when I'll do a live stream again. I'll try like what I did, just I don't know, put in a notification in the community tab, maybe mention it in the video that I'm going to go live on this and this date. Maybe that seems to work, but it's difficult for me with my schedule to get a set schedule on when I'm going to do the lives. But at least all you folks were able to join me tonight, so it was great chatting with you. And we will see you in the comment section on Monday's chicken coop video. So that's going to be wicked awesome. And ending stream right now.